My grandmothers, they survived the deportation, and every time when they were telling me the story of deportation, they were crying, and I never thought and I never expected that I would experience almost the same by my own. What we have here is not the operation or a special operation, how they claim it. We have a full-fledged war, and we have attacks from the territory of Russia and the territory of Belarus by missiles.
تعود النائبة الأولى لوزير الخارجية الأوكراني إمين جيبار بذاكرة أجدادها إلى تلك الأحداث التي كانوا يروونها لها بحسرة، وتتذكر بنفسها كيف حاولت مع والديها العودة، لكنه كان يمنع على تتار القرم الدخول إلى وطنهم الأم إلا كسياح. وقد تعذر على والديها إيجاد وظيفة هناك لأنه ممنوع عليهم كتتار العمل. هذا عدا السخرية والتنمر الذي تعرضا له بسبب هويتهم. إلى كل ذلك التاريخ الممزوج بالقهر والتمييز العنصري تمس اليوم غزوة روسيا لأوكرانيا تتار القرم في عمق ما تبقى من وجودهم، فانتصار أوكرانيا هو انتصار لهم، وهزيمتها ستصيبهم بالمزيد من الضعف والانكسار وربما التشتت من جديد. فما الذي تقوله إمين في كل ذلك وفي الحرب التي تدور على الأراضي الأوكرانية؟
I am indeed a Crimean Tatar. I represent an indigenous people of Ukraine, Crimean Tatars, the nation that has a very ancient history, a nation that was born in Crimea out of the mixture of all of the populations, tribes, and peoples ever inhabited Crimea. I was born in Russia, in Krasnodar. The question why, actually sometimes I've been asked why, how come that now you are fighting with Russia but you were born in Russia? The thing and the answer is very simple, and it is about the history of my people. My grandmothers, they survived the deportation, and every time when they were telling me the story of deportation, they were crying, and I never thought and I never expected that I would experience almost the same by my own. What we have today is a direct consequence of the situation that we had in 2014. I'm absolutely sure that we were in that level and extent of shock. We, meaning Ukrainians and international community, because the action and the crime that Putin committed in 2014 was unexpected, was shocking, was barbaric, was brutal. And we were not able to give proper response. And our inability to give proper response to an aggressor brought us to a bigger war.
What is the most supportive assistance can be done by EU and USA and whole democratic world?
First is the isolation of Russia. So it's like deputinization, we call it. Meaning that as far as Russia discredited itself in every possible manner, Russia should be isolated, should be expelled from international organizations like it happened in the Committee of Ministers of the Council of Europe and the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. There is no place for Russia in the United Nations. And the ironic thing and the most cynical thing is that Russia is a P5 Security Council member with a veto right. Meaning that we have a criminal in the Security Council, a criminal that by the right of a veto can stop anything. What is the possible mechanism to stop this crime? So this is the question we're trying to address the whole international community. Second, sanctions. These are not only personal sanctions about Putin and his team. and those tycoons around Putin, but also sectoral sanctions to all of those spheres that can weaken the Russian economy, thus can weaken their defense and offense system and their military system, let us say. And third is protection of Ukraine. And I think the main and the most important is the defense sector, because we need defensive weaponry. We need to protect ourselves because we are fighting with the biggest army of the world. And even though the spirit of Ukrainian nation is very high, is very powerful, the spirit of Ukrainian soldiers and the bravery of Ukrainian soldiers is huge. But we need to equip the soldiers and those defense units that have been now elaborated.
If you have a messages for Arabic world, please use this opportunity to talk with people in these countries.
I was born in a Muslim family. The first thing my grandmother taught me was to pray. In Crimean Tatar, dua uqamaga. Alhamdulillah Musulmanum. And I remember and I pray every night, actually, the way how my grandmother taught me to do. And I pray for peace, and I pray for justice. And I know that the basis of Islam is justice. And what actually happened here is violation of justice. And my call and my message to my brothers and sisters all over the world is to understand that whenever justice is being violated, people will stand up, and Ukrainians stood up to fight for the justice, to fight for our future. And even though I understand the conjuncture and the interests of Arabic world or Muslim world or countries bilaterally, but I think that we have to call spade a spade. You cannot dance tango with an aggressor. You cannot make money on blood.